students, a very good morning to you. Today we will continue our chapter 7 of class 10, that is control and coordination. In my last class, I have explained you about reflex action and reflex act, and in this class we will study about brain. You can see the diagram here. This is human brain. Let's understand what is the function of human brain and how many parts it is divided. Human brain is mainly divided into 3 different parts on the basis of their work, means which work they are performing. On that basis, the brain is divisible into 3 distinct parts, like forebrain, then your midbrain and hindbrain. So here students, as we know that in our body different type of activities takes place and we are taking some important decisions, some silly decisions. So how these are possible? These are possible due to brain. As we know that the main thinking part of the body is brain. So brain here does 2 different type of function. One is voluntary and another is involuntary. Okay students. So here brain has 2 different functions. One is voluntary and another is involuntary. Voluntary actions are those actions which are take place on the basis of the sense organs, whereas involuntary organs are not take place on the basis of sense organs. Means it is takes place by the thinking of forebrain and it is take place by the thinking of midbrain and hindbrain, also spinal cord. So students, now you can see here is the forebrain, and as I have told you, the forebrain is the main thinking part of the body. So why this is called so? Because the sensory lobes are associated or situated between the midbrain and forebrain. They control all the activities that based on sense organs. You know that we have 5 sense organs. And on the basis of these 5 sense organs, our forebrain acts. If I ask you how many things you see in the world or around you, you will say me, ma'am, we can't estimate. There are so many things that we know about. But here I want to tell you, in the whole world, all the things are divisible into or divided into 5 types. Why they are divided into 5 types? On the basis of the sense organs. Means the thing which you will say that either related with vision, with skin, with feel, with touch. Clear students? Or with smell, with taste. That's why we can say that all the things around us are of 5 types on the basis of the 5 sense organs. And these 5 sense organs are nose for smell, second one is eye for vision, or you can say sight, then your tongue for taste, then your skin for feel, and last one is your nose, eye, tongue, skin and ear for hearing. So students, let's understand these sense organs in details. As I have told you, there are 5 types of things around us. Means whether all the things you can say, no exception from these sense organs. Means if you tell me about some food that is related with tongue, whether it is pizza, burger, rice, chapati, curry, paneer, mutton, etc., etc. There are various types, but only one can detect, that is tongue. So all the foods are considered in the tongue, or they are included in the sense organ tongue. Next, if I told you about nose, regarding to smell, there are many fragrances. Some are good, some are bad, some are unpleasant, some are pleasant. So they are also considered under nose or smell. Next is your vision, means eye. You wear different type of clothes, you watch televisions, you see various type of flowers, plants, sceneries. They all are related with eye or vision. Next is skin. We use cushions, we use soft cloths, They all are related with skin. Next one is your, I have told you that ear. Ear means for hearing. Like now you are hearing me. Clear students? You are hearing music. You are hearing many motivational speech. So they all are considered under ear. If you tell me one thing, if you able to tell me one thing that is not considered under these 5 sense organs, then I will quit my teaching. Clear students? So all the things in the world is of 5 types regarding to the 5 sense organs that we have. So the sense organs are, I have told you here, nose, eye, tongue, skin, ear. And they are present on the forebrain and midbrain, between the forebrain and midbrain, which detects these senses. Means according to their sense organs, they are detect the senses. Like what we are doing, what we are eating, what we are smelling, what we are hearing, all these. Like now you are listening to me while watching the video. So here your sense organ is working. Means your eyes and your ears. And that message is sent to brain. And there the lobes are present. They detect whether I am teaching, my teaching is inspires you or motivates you, or you can't able to understand. If you able to understand, then you will remember, means memorize it and store it in your brain. So students, now let's understand in detail what are the different parts of brain and what is their function. So here you can see, this is the diagram of brain, and brain has the outer layer which is called as the skull or cranium. Skull or cranium is the upper harder part of the brain which protects the brain from external injury. As we know that the brain is a soft, delicate structure that present in the bony box, like the wealthy substances or the substances which are whose value is so high, which are precious. We kept them in the box and locked them. Like this, our brain is the precious material, precious thing, precious for us. That's why brain is protected specially by this skull or cranium, which is also called as the bony box. Inside the skull, inside the skull, the brain is present. Again, just below the skull or cranium, cerebrum is present, and the cerebrum is semi-liquid form, and here the network of neuron is maximum. Means neurons are interconnected with each other in a large amount, due to which they able to connect the messages, and after collecting the messages they send to the lobes, and in lobes brain is again detected whether the message come from nose, come from ear, come from eyes, or come from tongue, or come from skin. And in this way we able to decide. Next is your, you can see, this is the forebrain. This part is called as the forebrain, which I have told you. Forebrain has the voluntary actions. Clear? Then this one is your midbrain, which is present in the middle part of the brain. Next one is your hindbrain, which is consists of pons. You can see this part is called as pons. This part is called as medulla, and this part is called as cerebellum. So pons, medulla and cerebellum makes the hindbrain, and along with spinal cord they are called as medulla oblongata. They are called as medulla oblongata. We will study about different functions. Now let's see. This part is called as pituitary, which is known as the master gland of the body, and this secretes all the hormones indirectly or directly and controls the other activities. As we know that endocrine system is the second coordinating organ of our body. Just above the pituitary there is hypothalamus is present, which secretes hypothalamic hormone like your GnRH hormone, which we will study after this topic. So students, now let's understand about brain. I have told you voluntary actions. Voluntary actions means, suppose I hold this chalk and writing on the blackboard. So while I am writing on the blackboard, I am very conscious about this, that what I am writing. So this is due to my forebrain, because all the thinking activities or voluntary activities are takes place. Suppose I am eating something, whether its taste is good or not, then I decide, then I reject or I eat. This is also decided by our forebrain, as I have told you. 4 lobes are present regarding to the sense organs. Here 5 sense organs, but there are 4 lobes. So the lobe that is associated with smell is called as olfactory lobe. Olfactory, that is associated with smell. Then second one is gustatory. Gustatory, that is associated with taste. Then your vision, that is associated with eye. Then your occipital, that is associated with hearing. And for skin, there is no sense organ, there is no lobe in the forebrain. The sensory neurons or nerves or the receptors, they are present all over the body. So students, in many books, this is written as there are 2 different parts. Here the diagram you are watching, this is the 2D diagram of the brain. If you see the 3D diagram, then you can able to see where are the parts located and where are the lobes. Again, these lobes are connected with the nerves, and these nerves are connected with the nose. Suppose for example, let's see, I have a nose, but I am unable to smell things. Then why this occur? Either my sensory lobe, that is olfactory lobe, is damaged, or the nerves that connect to olfactory lobe get damaged, due to which my brain can't decide whether the smell is good or bad. Again, some people you see they have eyes, but they tell that they are blind. So why this occurred? Like if your television has no wire connected with the antenna, then you can't see the picture. Exactly, our sensory neurons or the neurons that connected to different lobes are not properly work, then we can't, or our brain can't get the messages, due to which it can't display. Clear students? So now I am teaching you and you are listening to me. This is collected by your ear and they send it to your inner ear. Then the eardrum has some vibrations which sends it to the your occipital lobe by the occipital nerve, and brain decides that here is the sound of Baijayanti ma'am. You can listen and can respond and can store. Suppose for example, if you know my face, if you see me anywhere in the market or in any places after 15 years, after 20 years, then you can able to identify me. She is our ma'am. So how this is possible? While we are watching some substances, eating some substances, smelling some substances, that is stored in our brain in these lobes. Clear? So our brain is like a memory card in the mobile phone, which stores all the things, your question papers, your answers, your videos, your photos. Like this, our brain also saves or stores all these things. And while that thing come in front of us, or when we hear, suppose if you close your eyes and your mother calls you, then instead of you close your eyes, you can know and you can identify the sound is your mother's. And if you see something that you can identify, he is Amir Khan, he is Zuitala, he is, she is Zuitala, she is whatever, Ekta Kapoor, whatever. So how this is possible? This is possible due to our brain, forebrain and the sensory lobes. So clear students, I think you understand what I want to, or what I try to teach you, that I want to teach you that you have to know the function of forebrain, which play an important role in our life. Without proper functioning of these sense organs, we are considered to be mad. If we do not show any response, then people told us she is a mad or he is a mad. So why this happens? This happens due to the lobes. If our lobes are properly working, then our brain is also properly working. So here I have told you that voluntary action. So how can you define voluntary actions? Those actions which takes place after thinking of the forebrain are called as voluntary actions. So how it thinks? I have already explained that they are the sensory lobes which are connected with the sensory neurons or nerves, and then they are stored in the brain, and when or while these things come in front of us again, then we able to identify. Suppose sometimes you ate something in a restaurant, then you come to your home and go any other restaurants, then you will always say that the taste of that restaurant is so nice. Again, if you got some food that tastes like that restaurant, then you recall, yes, this is the taste which I have eaten in that restaurant, or suppose for in Ra hotel. This is because of your gustatory lobe. So here olfactory, that related with smell, gustatory related with taste, then optic related with your, this is optic which related with vision, means sight, and occipital which related with hearing. As I have told you, for skin there are receptors are present which differentiate between hot, cold, etc., etc. Good touch, bad touch, how do you able to know? This is because of the receptors present on the skin. So students, this is all about your forebrain. Next, let's understand about midbrain. As I have told you, midbrain has no such functions, so it helps the hindbrain in doing involuntary actions. Clear? So how midbrain and hindbrain together perform involuntary actions? Involuntary actions means, suppose for example walking in a straight line. I am walking now, or I am telling you. Here I am not thinking, my forebrain is not thinking that my hand to be said like this, or I should walk like this, I should talk like this. So these are involuntarily occurring. That's why they are called as involuntary action. So for involuntary action, the major role plays the hindbrain, which is consists of pons, medulla and cerebellum. So here let's understand what is the function of pons. Pons is associated with respiration. That's why it is called as respiratory rhythm center. Pons is called as respiratory rhythm center. Why this is called so? Because it controls the rate of respiration. Suppose I am talking continuously without taking break. If I want, then I can make the 15-minute video into, or I can convert it into 45 minutes. But here I am not stop. I am continue my teaching. So am I forgot to take oxygen, to take breath? Yes. But still our body have some special mechanisms. Means pons is the organ which is present in our hindbrain, controls the intake of oxygen and the outtake of carbon dioxide. If my body needs oxygen, then continuously pons awaits, the pons which is respiratory rhythm center awaits, then I stand and breathe like I am so much tired. Clear students? So like this. Or we can say that when we are taking oxygen, our body knows that is enough for us. While we are talking, singing, then our oxygen demand is also fulfilled by this center which is called as pons. Pons is the respiratory rhythm center, and the oxygen requirement which is fulfilled in our body is involuntary. We can't control the rate of respiration. Sometimes it is high and sometimes it is low, sometimes it is moderate. So we can't ourselves, means forebrain can't control this. If forebrain can control, then we will never die. Clear? So this is controlled by the pons of hindbrain. Next is your medulla. Medulla is the center which is associated with vomiting, salivation, blood pressure, etc., etc. Means this is also involuntary action. That's why it is controlled by medulla. As I have told you, vomiting. Suppose you feel the sensation of vomiting. You are telling us in the classroom, ma'am, can I go out? I have a feeling sensation of vomiting. I feel as like vomiting. Then we say, go fast, go. But still, you able to stop it stops due to medulla, because medulla controls it and medulla knows where to be vomiting. But in some cases you vomit at that place. That is rare. So again, let's consider about blood pressure. Suppose my blood pressure is low, someone's blood pressure is high. We can't, means our forebrain can't control this. It itself, means the blood pressure itself rises, means rises up, or falls down, means it increases or decreases. And our body have also special mechanism to control the rate of blood pressure, and that is possible due to medulla. Next I have told you salivation. Salivation means मुंह से पानी आना, लार टपकना. Clear? Sometimes in your neighbor there is something is cooked which is so delicious that your mouth waters. Or you are going in the school bus and see that golgappe, some people are taking golgappe. Then you thought at that moment and your mouth waters. Oh, can I get some golgappas in your mind? But still you control yourself. Then how? If a student or your friend eating near you and she is taking or he is taking matar paneer and you have only achar, clear? Then what happened? You internally wants that if he or she should give me a piece of paneer, but still she or he is taking the food. At that moment you control yourself. You will not beg to her or him to give a piece of paneer. So at that case the mouth waters. While I am teaching you, my mouth also waters to take these foods. So students, how this is controlled? This is controlled due to medulla. Means we can't voluntarily control these activities. They are controlled involuntarily. Next is your cerebellum. Cerebellum is another part of hindbrain, pons, medulla. We are now at cerebellum. Cerebellum's function is working in a straight line, picking up a pencil or chalk. While I am writing, I don't know that how I have to pick this is not thought by my forebrain. This is thought by my hindbrain. Means which part? Cerebellum. Again I have told you, working in a straight line. While you are working in your roof, then you will not fall down. Why? This is controlled by cerebellum. Again cycling, dancing, all these controlled by your cerebellum. So students, here the function of pons is to control respiration. Function of medulla is to control salivation, vomiting, blood pressure, and function of cerebellum is to working in a straight line, picking up a pencil, riding a bicycle, dancing. All these things are controlled by cerebellum. So here the brain has two different type of functions. One is voluntary and another is involuntary. And the functions that take place by the forebrain are voluntary, and the functions that take place by the help of midbrain and hindbrain are involuntary. So students, this is all about your human brain. In our next class, we will study about plants.